Welcome back, everyone. I think most of the students are not seeing the new link. Okay, let's get my audio. Cool. Am I audible now? Please confirm me. Thank you. Okay. Um, I can see a few more students are going to join, but let's continue our class. Now, from today onwards, we are entering into the regular classes. Okay. And as we discussed in the last class, we are going to start with the Python. That's a very fundamental. If I give you a quick recap of what we have discussed in the last class, like we have discussed regarding the GitHub and GitHub strategies like the release process, branchings, tags, and all. And we also seen this VS Code setup and the local environment setup. And also we have seen AWS account setup and some alerts setting up the alerts for the billing. And not only that, we also tried creating an EC2 instance. That is a very, very basic thing. EC2 instance and accessing the EC2 instance and configuring the, I don't know why this is causing a problem. How about now? Sorry. How about now? Okay, so Zoom is going to run, I'll run one automation with a Python of this audio settings. I don't know, sometime it is breaking. Cool. So we have tried of creating the EC2 instance and trying to access from our local laptop from the bash, and as well as we tried from the VS Code, right? So of accessing this, why we have discussed this one in terms of any GPU server if you are created in order to access and do and edit from the VS Code execute inside the server, we have learned as part of the fundamental learning. Okay. Okay, all looks good. We know that setup is nice, local setup. We know what should be set up, and going forward, we have to also set up many things. We will be going to discuss them. Okay. Today we're gonna learn Python. Okay, Python from very scratch basic. There would be a questions to many students. You might be from the test, DevOps, non-tech or tech. Even though you are from the tech side, development side, or uh, data science and data engineering. So Python is really needed for the MLOps, AIOps, LLM, or completely AIML, let's say. Okay. Yes, it is needed because whatever things that you are going to achieve in the AIML platform that you are not able to do with the other languages like Go language or you see C++ or Node React or Tailwind. So you never able to do that. So JavaScript is the one you can do. Okay, but not that so extensive. Not that so extensive. It's a primary language. We really know we really should be like a developer in the Python. No. So if you ask me, we should not be like a developer in the Python, but we need to know. Okay. Scala type, no, that will also not help much. It will support at some point, but not extensive like this Python. Scala and TypeScript. TypeScript would be the good at your cloud automations or a application developments and integrations with your development kits, SDK, CDKs, things, all those. JavaScript also is part of that, and your C Sharp also will be support you in that. Go language is where you develop the applications for the automations like DevOps tools. Like you say, you take Kubernetes or you take Docker, you take any other tools. So they mostly developed from the Go languages only, and which is very easy language, Go language. But at the AML side, in terms of this development and writing all this, no. So why Python means? So entire AI production life cycles was using this Python because the most of the packages, libraries, all the available in the Python only with the friendly programming, and which is very easy actually. So don't think like Python I should know each. No, just a basic AML side. We only cover few things, and every time we repeat the same. Every time we repeat the same only. Any script you take, we repeat the same code blocks only. There are few changes and modifications according to your requirement. So first of all, leave the fear, and nobody is not at pro at the Python. So if you're pro at the Python, then you will be a Python developer or a Python pro automation guy. So you'll have a plenty of the opportunities. But at the AML side, even Python developers are learning the AML side because they don't know everything at the AML side. What are all the things we're gonna work? It's it's just a coding. Look at like a platform or a medium to just develop and deploy and maintain this AML stack. It's just a medium, that programming language we are using primarily. Okay, so that is Python. Why? Because simple text, simple syntax, and good ecosystem, and excellent enterprise adoption is there. Any company you go at AML side, Python would be the first one. So day before yesterday also, I was given a task to integrate one AI autonomous Jira ticketing thing. So with the JavaScript. So it was very struggling to me. Lot of things I have to do. But with Python, it is so much easy. So even you ask any LLM code agent also, JavaScript was not that much comfortable to generate the code from the any code agent as well. But Python would be easy for them. So that is something at real world thing I would like to share. So if you ask me what is a role of Python in AML side, especially at the AIOps or these things. Just a minute, I'm getting some messages. Students are not able to join. Give me a minute. Yeah. Where are we? Like the role of Python in AML side. So let's say from your data perspective, for any AI, you are developing any AI for a problem statement or any ML that you are developing ML model for a problem statement, that starts from the data only. So data engineering, first thing, data collection. From your data collection point of view to deploying, developing a model, designing the ML model, and until deploy the ML model, and monitor the ML model involves Python. Complete system. Complete system will involves in Python. So when you ask here in the monitor, AIOps also coming into the picture. It could be a ML model or an application, whatever. And similar way in LLM also, your Python will involves end to end. Everywhere Python will be involved. So if you, whenever you're designing any of your AI or an ML, probably you will be going to write in the notebooks. Okay, notebooks, which Jupyter notebooks. Okay, so here there would be extension, right? So if you go to Colab, Google Colab, so .ipynb is the extension. Let me tell you. Again, my audio is breaking. This many time it shouldn't be. Okay. So if you see, so this is an extension here you have. So this extension basically where your developers or your data science engineers or data engineers or your ML engineers will be going to perform things like exploration. All the exploration will be going to done in the .ipynb, which is nothing but your notebook extension. But whenever you see any project in a repository, you will be able to find .py. So .py is the Python scripts. .py is the Python scripts, and .ipynb uh, is a notebook things. Okay, here what happens? Whatever the code you are writing here in the .vnb, you have to convert to this one. You will be not able to run this as a CI/CD. Will be not able to run as the CI/CD. Okay, this one you are not able to run as a CI/CD. So this one you are going to run as a CI/CD. Whatever you're writing the Python code in this, it's for just designing, exploring, seeing the results, and how the model will be performing. Those things you will going to run in the notebooks. If you created any GPU, your GPU supporting the notebook, then you go there and you have cells. In an order wise, you have a cells. So this is combination of text and the cell. Okay, like this. So you can have a text and the cell. Here you can do text, but in the .py, it will not support whatever the code you are keeping it here in .ipynb notebook. It will not support in your py file, which is Python file. And there is a technique. Okay. If I tell you a repository, so this is a repository. So in this repository, you'll always maintaining notebooks. Example, you're always maintaining a notebooks as a one folder under this root. Under this root and like this. And then you're going to maintain one more called scripts. Okay. In this, you're going to maintain py files like train.py. Now you know why I'm telling this. So the basic difference in the Python, it's itself in the Python only. It's a folder structure, right? So here you're writing same train or exploration train.ynb extension, and whatever you're doing the experiment on this, you should convert to this one. Okay, so this is a main job of your AML engineer, MLOps engineer, or your LLM AI, whatever. So any repository that your developer writing and doing all exploration has done with his work with the notebook, he will say that yes, it is giving me perfect output to me when I run test, when I'm running test cases, it is giving me okay. When I run out predictions and all internally in the notebook, it is giving me okay. But you can't deploy this IPYNB into directly into the production. You cannot do a containerization this one. Okay, how do you going to generate the model and register the model and you're going to be apply with an automation of CI/CD? So this is a mechanism itself in the Python. So you will be going to convert this. So that is the main job of our MLOps engineer. So there is a technique actually. We will be using the NB converter. We will be using the NB converter. There is a NB converter. Okay. You can ask NB converter. Okay. Whenever you run, it automatically, there's a command if you run, it will convert your script into your Python. Okay. Notebook to uh, .inby to .ipynb, it will be going to convert. So into .inb. When you have a file, when you have a Python file and you wanted to convert, so you can use, okay. And there is one more tool called this called pay, paper mill. So this is always going to use at the notebook CI/CD. Rather you just directly converting, we can use to convert them from your IPYNB things to your scripts. So this is the tool where our mainly a job is going to involve converting your this notebooks to the scripts like this. So Jupytext also there, and you can also use NBDev also. So NBDev also you can use actually NBDev also. So we will be going to perform this by running these commands, converting the scripts, and we will be going to explore. So when these scripts are going to be converted, what inside it will present? I thought it was the developer responsibility to write all this code in .py. See, developers, you might be going to write in this notebooks. You're done with your work. And yes, most of the time developers will be able to convert this because they know very better, because the syntax and everything will be going to convert. So whatever inside this side will be text is there, right? So this text is going to comment it out automatically in the .py. When you convert, it will be automatically commented. So there would be issues if you directly convert this into the .py, it is never able to parse properly all the code and this text things, emoji things, it will come in the this notebook, right? So those is never going to convert properly. Because of that, you may face syntactical issues in the Python. So that is the main reason we have to always convert and maintaining a separate scripts to run this py files, script files. So paper mill you can use, NBDev you can use, Jupyter text you can use, NB converter you can use in a sync. Always what we will be doing. So this two will be in the sync. Whatever you are updating over there, it automatically sync and it will convert into the .py. Okay. If a developer not knowing this, so it's your job to keep it this repo and maintaining this repo and configuring this repo and keeping it all these things and setting up the branching strategy, setting up the CI/CD automations and syncs. It's your job. It's your job. Okay. So if you are on a platform on development and setting and everything, it's your job. If you are asked developer also mostly know. If they don't know, they'll going to set up for you as well. It depends on of your collaboration. So that is the first thing. Okay, now I would like to tell you this why, because this is the main difference we need to find out. Will you allow us to ask questions call instead of over text in chat? Yeah, you can ask. Do you want to speak?
Yeah, no, thanks, Sajini. Now I can ask question through call. Yeah, thanks. Now I can do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Fine. So this is something a converter that you can use of converting the both the sides. Edit either or you can do. And let's understand about the Python first. For that, I prepared a notes from very scratch. If you are already experienced or you are new to the Python, learning with this kind of a sequence will help you more understanding at the AML side, because we will be not doing heavy coding on the Python AML. We will be not doing heavy coding. Any scripts you can take, almost reusable blocks will be there, and almost uh, just only modified blocks will be only there, most of the functions and all. So to learn them, let me open my Notion. See here, from data engineering point of view, from data ingestion, databases, APIs, files, streaming systems, data cleaning, validation, transformation, feature engineering, everywhere a Python will be involved because of these libraries. These are all the main libraries for us, which is available from the Python. Pandas, NumPy, PyArrow, Great Expectations. Especially at the data side. And when we are talking about the model development, so these are all the libraries that we will be going to use as a import scikit-learn, as the scikit or import TensorFlow like this. We will use these lines. So these are all we're going to use the libraries for our model development. From you cannot do from the JavaScript. Okay, you will not will you able to go and do it? No, it's available from the Python. Like at your Linux server, how your apt or yum is available, similar way these things are available at the Python. So it is very easy if you just run. In VS Code, PyCharm, Cursor, IDE to create PY, Jupyter Notebook, Colab, Anaconda is IDE to create. Yes, you can download one extension Rajkumar, and you can able to do .ipynb or automatically convert as a notebook. There you can run your cells. Okay. And at the model package side, Fast API, Flask, Bento ML, and ML Flow. So these are all we are going to use in model packaging and serving. And in terms of our CI/CD automations, so here we're going to use Airflow for orchestration, Prefit for orchestration, pipeline orchestration, Kubeflow. We will be using Python only. So Prefect, Airflow would be, and Kubeflow are the main things. So why Python? Is it only language for MLOps? For MLOps, you can also do it from the JavaScript, but no, most of your libraries are available from the Python. So development is available from the Python. That's why Python is main. It's a primary language. Secondary languages you can apply from others. So you can do it. You can do it for ML and deep learning. Python would be an extent, and Java is limited, and Go is a very poor. You cannot find all the things. It will be going to break. Okay. So we are planning to cover. Yes, we will be covering those orchestrations. So at LLM ecosystem, Python is the best. Java is very weak. Automation excellent. So you can go through the any internet, and you can just reach out to any of the project repositories in the GitHub. You will be able to see. That is why. So any specific region in the sense, most of your libraries are you found from a Python ecosystem for AML. So that is the main reason. that the Python is a primary language for them. Okay. And at your AIOps site, if you do log analysis, so these things you can do with other languages also, but it makes a more better and excellent with the Python. So parsing lags, pattern detection, root cause analysis, applied regex, pandas, scikit-learns. Okay, so these will be a more good with the Python. And automated remediation that you can apply in LLM side also. These are the main things that you can achieve with the Python. And if you use other languages, you will end up with a lot of errors. No, I won't. Even you try also, it will give you a lot of troubles in the starting only. Starting problems would be done first of all with other languages and the LLMOps. So that is the main reason. If you go with the Python, it will be very easy. And because all the ecosystem, most of your packages, everything libraries and all available in the Python only. Okay. So this is a basic information. If you go and read, if anyone asks why the Python is a main thing, then this is the answer. And coming to the virtual environment setup from your VS Code, let's say you are running a model in three experiments. Okay. So you are running on the three different versions. So when you're running on the three different versions, you need three different isolated environments. So for that, if you are installing Python in your system, so those versions will be installed globally. Global in the sense at your laptop, one version, one only. So if you wanted to do two experiments, so it will break between the versions. So dependencies will be breaking. So instead that at every development area, we will be setting up virtual environment. We will be setting up a virtual environment. Okay. So why virtual environment? VENV. You can see this as a shortcut VENV. Okay. It's a isolated Python runtime. You can use it for only specific project in isolated way. Because when you isolate, all your libraries will be isolatedly you can run in the specific environment and you can do build. Okay. So that is the VNV example. So if you install 3.10 and 3.11, now it is 3.14 latest version. So if you go with a 3.11 or 12 would be the more good. Even though it is latest also no problem. So if you when you run Python version, it will show you the version. Okay. Let me open my anti-gravity. So now you have your main.py. Okay. So I have created this file, and if you enable a terminal here and go with your git bash, go with your git bash Python version. So it will be telling you this version is 3.14.2, which is the latest version. I recommend you people just please install 3.12 would be the good one. Otherwise 3.14 also is nice. So here in the left side, if you see, I have only main.py and I would like to start with the Python. If you remember in our first class, I have shown you .zrsh profile to set up with your aliases. If you are running with a different Python programming, example, you are cloning different repositories from your code base. So one code base is running on some 3.12 version. One code base is running on 3.14 version. So because of that, your code when you are running an experiment, it will fail actually. Or when you are running any orchestration with your prefit or any flight, so it will be going to fail actually. So instead that you can just only activate with a specific version also, or you can activate this virtual environment with commands like python, just say -m venv, a virtual environment venv venv and venv. So automatically it will create, here you can see this folder. Automatically it will create this folder. If you are on a PowerShell, or if you are on a Git Bash, or if you are on a Mac OS, so there would be the commands are different actually. There would be commands are different to activate. If I go to my Notion here, I given already. You can see PowerShell, you can use this one. For Git Bash, you can use this one. For Linux, you can use this one. For Mac, now I am on the Git Bash actually. So I'll copy this, and if I come here, I can able to activate this. When I activate, it will show me this one. Now I am on the virtual environment. If you would like to set up this in your VS Code, you can also set up interpreter by giving the Control Shift P. So it will open this one, and here you can type Python. Python. It is not the VS Code. Python debugger, Python cache. So create an environment like this, and it is going to ask Conda or VNV. You can use both of anything. So VNV is the perfect thing to, in order to, you should start with a requirement.txt, or you can also use conda.yml as well. Okay, so both environments you can use to create this one. So if you go with the requirement.txt, and the requirement.txt, if you say anything, that will be going to install. That will be going to install. So why we need, for any of your specific project, you need requirement.txt for installing the your dependencies. Okay, here now it is activated two things, you can see. What I'll going to, you have to click like this, click on this and say requirement.txt. Require. When you create a requirement.txt, if you need any dependencies for your project, let's say we need NumPy, we need Pandas, we need scikit-learn, we need Fast API, we need UVCon. So those things you can write down here, and those things will be going to install in your project. So this is a basic setup. Example, I would like to say NumPy, okay, is equal to 1 point some version, like, yeah, 24.4. Let's say you wanted to install Pandas, some version like this. So these libraries are going to install, these dependencies are going to install in your venv here. in your VNV. Whatever the VNV you are here right now, in this it is going to install. Yes, for your API, you can go with the fast API. So any version 110 would be good. So you can, if you wanted to run this and see this program, you can use Uicon also. Okay. So these are going to install in your .venv. Okay. So this is and there is a one more thing also. If for front end and back end you are running, example, and your front end you're running one orchestrator, two repositories you cloned in your local repository. Two repositories you clone in local repository. What you are doing? You are running both of the solutions. One solution you activated like this. One solution you activated like this. And another solution you activated like this from the VS Code interpreter. When you activated like this, you came with the .venv and this is with the venv. You can see the difference dot. So in what happens, there is a dependency with your both of the solutions. Let's say one solution is running here, which is front end, and you wanted to connect with your backend. So here the both will not be connected. Or if your backend needs to be referred to your front end with any of the endpoint, then it will, if it has to find it from the locals especially, then it won't find it. This could be an error. If you're running both solutions should be on a same, you wanted to connect them and run in the same only, either venv or .venv. If you're running in a different thing, then it won't connect. It will throw you an error actually. And again, you have to stop the solution. Again, you have to activate it. And again, you have to connect them. Example, you have .venv. When I go with the Control Shift P, it given to activate venv option to me, right? And another thing, I have activated this through the command line, right? So I have two repositories. I have two repositories. You can create as many. How your system support. So your system will be getting to hang if you run more than a 10 plus solutions at a time because you are running on a different port numbers and the process will be going to occupy. So your system will get into hang. You're cloned into the same laptop, two repositories. So this is my laptop. I created two folders, okay, for these two repositories. This is A repository and this is B repository. Okay, A repository and the B repository. So A repository, I have separate folder and I activated as .venv. And for B repository, I have activated as venv. Okay, activated as venv. Now, when you're running this solution, you're running this solution. This solution actually connect to this one. Where in your local only. It has to connect to this one and this one. When you are exposing with the your browser, you exposed your backend also and your front end also. Okay, so this to be has to be connected. If it's a normal development, if it is a normal development, each stage we can create and activate virtual environment. Yes, you have to for each solution. This repository when you're going to run, you call it as a solution. In your local environment, you are running, you are exposing this, you call it as a solution. Okay. When you are running this your code solution, you're exposing, you're exposing. So in that time, if you're normally connected with any node React JS, so fine because you don't you don't get the concept called venv in those languages. But in Python, if you're connecting and dependencies are there between these two, If you're running on this one and if you're running on this one, and those two has to find the files from your local, okay, then it won't able to find each other. That's a problem. You should run on the same one. You should run on the same one, .venv or venv. Yes, then only the dependency, not the dependencies. Dependencies will be executed inside, but so this is a separate folder structure and this is a separate folder structure, right? So when you are going to run this, either you need to point out to this path perfectly, or you need to point out to this path perfectly. Even though you pointed out, you may get errors. You may get errors because you have a ML flow here, okay, and you have prefit here, or you have kubeflow, or you have maybe a flight, okay, tools. And from this repository, you're connecting to your flight, you're connecting to your ML flow, okay. And this is also you're connecting to your ML flow, or you're connecting to a BigQuery, or any data that you're connecting, okay. You wanted to compare uh, two models. You wanted to compare two models, and you want the data. You want to use this location path into this one, so it will throw you an error. Real time example I'm telling. So in your local itself, it will throw you an error, not in the production side. At local only, you will be doing all this experiment from your learning, from running from your local, connecting to a ML flow. From your local only, you will do experiment to the ML flow. From your local only, you will trigger the experiment in ML flow. Most of the cases. From local only, you're going to run a prediction pipeline at your flight. Most of the times. You will connect and you trigger it from the local only. When it is done and okay, able to deploy and you wanted to deploy at the production site, then the model registers will be happen and that will be automated with the CI/CD. But development side, most of the cases you will gonna connect from the local only. You trigger it from the local only. Okay, when it is going to UAT or any stage environment or any environment side deployment, you will trigger the CI/CD pipeline that time. But for your experiment and practice and development design things, it is from the local. So the solutions are very, very important to run from your local. So this is one main thing in the Python of activating this. So you can follow these things. And one more thing is called poetry. So poetry we use at production level system. You will be not able to, it's not that if you are not writing requirement.txt and you wanted to manage the dependencies, so you can use poetry at enterprise production grade level because it is automatically does that. It automatically going to does that. Pip install poetry and you can just create this one automatically. It will be going to create the pypy toml file for you to maintain the metadata of the project and your dependency informations and all in your project, in your Python project. These are any repository you take up, AI or LLM distributed repositories, you will able to find these things. Okay, these are very basics. Like if you ask me in Java or in the DevOps side or you are at testing side, when you see, you will be able to find some files, right? pom.xml and your Node.js side, this one package or JSON. So those files will be there, right? To run the scripts and all. Similar way here also at Python at AML side, you need this all. You need this all. Okay. So here you can see. So this is the one I was telling you, pyproject.tyml. So which is a Python official project configurational file where you're going to maintain a data like this. about your project, version, description, author, similar like your Node.js code, you're maintaining the packet.json, that file. You maintain that file, right? In that you will have a React scripts with the information, metadata information. You will give the dependencies versions also, and as well as the like this one. Let me open Node.js, Node.js repos, GitHub. You have it like this, right? Like this. These are the scripts. You're going to maintain an official Python project things from your this PyPy project dot config file. Sorry, toml file. Okay. So most of your production grade repositories, you'll able to find that. So that is important. So when you see that, just don't get surprised like what is this, why we are using this. Mostly we are able to see requirement.txt, right? Why this one is here. No, it is automatically does for you at the CI/CD and the environment levels. So if we go to the same file here, so you can just run this one, pip install poetry, and just go to this one. Here if I run, it's going to install. Done. So if I do init, all your big companies like Facebook, Amazon, this phone companies use this one only actually. So what do you want to name your project? I would like to go with the default version. Description is MLOps, AIOps, or MLOps hyphen AIOps learnings. So author is me. Okay. Run license. I don't want to apply your versions, whatever the compatible Python version that you wanted to apply. Now I am on the 3.14. Okay. Would you like to define any of your main dependencies interactively? Yes. So you can say that package to add and search or leave it blank to your script. I want to go with like this only. And now it is asking add or search any package. So you can, so these are all the things it is going to generate. You can see if you do enter, it is going to add the file here in the left side. You can see here. Here it is added. Okay. So this is the information. Here it is. And then you can run your solutions and build your solution. This is a basic thing. Most of your projects you will be able to find. Okay, you can activate with the VNV, or you can activate with the Conda, or you can activate with, and you can manage these dependencies from your VNV or your poetry. Most of the cases at enterprise level, poetry will be used. VNV also will be used. Yes, in real time we use poetry. In real time we use poetry. We can also use pip also. Okay. So it's up to your standard environment of what you are defining uh, according to your environment, and you're installing packages and you configured packages and all. Say you are whenever you are pulling all this, is any of your library is exposing to any vulnerabilities? That is also a matter actually. So what happens? It's not that so easy. You're directly pulling at your system. you're pulling something and that should be done security composition analysis. What is this? You might be using a SNCC. It's not that allowed that you are just pulling one library and you're putting into your model side and you're running it. Maybe it found some libraries where it can create a bugs for you, where it can create a breakages at your model side or an AI side or at your RAG system. It could create lot of things, okay, which will lead to your downgrade performance or breakages at your AML. So all the Python's libraries, whatever you're pulling, that should be done SEA, security composition analysis with a SNCC or a trivia tool, which is going to find out the vulnerabilities in the lib. And then only you will be going to keep it your own artifact repositories. From there, you will be able to run it. So this is how this there will be a store at your every organization. Yes, this is called DevSecOps. So they will run, but it's not their full-time job. Okay, because you are going to use if your system is built in a distributed way with a multiple teams, then you can ask them and request them, hey, can you please test this library? Or if they are not, then you are the person, you know the better, right? What vulnerabilities it got identified with that library. Okay, and then only you will be able to use at your exploration. It is fine, but after exploration you should have a minimum a proof of uh, validation that this is not going to cause anything. Okay, yes, we are also going to cover this as part of our pipeline design, as part of our pipeline design or as part of our exploration design. We will be doing that. Okay, SNCC is something when you are selecting anything for your LLM, because you're going to bring up multiple things and adding to it. So in that case, this is the first step that you have to done. Scan and verified things only you can use. Even you can use directly also, but later it will create a problem. It will be a double work for you, right? So before that, you can just do the scan and go for it. So these are all things is part of our CSCD. That's why I'm covering everything right now, so to give you all steps that we're going to climb in coming classes. Okay, validation, health checks, yes. Okay, just go through these things. I already given uh, a few mini labs as well where you can practice in your uh, code editor. Okay. And the second thing is, let's go with the a very fundamental thing. Is SNCC similar to pre-commit install hook? No, no, not like that. Because example I can tell you, if I have a black, I have run in the pre-commit. Okay, when you have this .ipynb file is there and you are converting to the .py. Okay, converting to the .py. So when you are converting, what happens? You are trying to push this py file into your repository, and if your black is running here as a pre-commit hook, so this is going to give you, it will fail actually. It will fail actually, because in your this file you will use stickers, emojis, right? As inside the string only we use actually all this. So it will block and it will give you syntax errors actually. Okay, so this is only for that. So this kind of things, but your SNCC, is actually going to look at the core point, the core fundamental development of that library, and does it having any exploitations, means nothing but a vulnerabilities, any loopholes it is there that anytime somebody can compromise. So if it is able to compromise, then it is a very big problem to us. So those kind of things it is going to scan with the snake, and it is a big task that you can also set up. And how many of you know about the black dog, black duck? Any one of you using in your companies black duck? So at your application security with software, all this SecOps security composition analysis all will come to this picture, and it is a way powerful tool, a way powerful tool which is scan in your libraries and all, and also Prisma, Prisma. So this is a one more tool at your scanning. So if your system was highly developed and you are able to go to the enterprise production level grade model deployments, then you must use these tools. You must have to go with a snake or any application, the security, okay? Application security, runtime security, even though once you are deployed your LLM models also, all your things you can do. There is a one company, I also given a review to it. I forgot. It's a very good startup. They're doing end to end everything on the LLMs, end to end. They're giving providers. Let me see it. Just give me a minute. I forgot the company name. Yeah, I found. It's called Oknok. This one. I didn't get clarity about the snake and pre-commit Could you please? Okay. So example, what would happen at your snake and what would happen at your repo? Okay. Have laptop. We'll start with the Python. Okay. That, to answer your question, you are doing git push and pull things here. So in that case, you will be using the this one. So this is just pre-commit thing is just like a checklist. It is just like a checklist that you're keeping all automated checklist in this with attached with the repositories. Okay, like your format errors. As I said just before, right? Format errors. Or you have any syntax issues. Or you have any uh, sensitive information there like passwords and all for them. So if you wanted to work like the uh, a checklist pass, a checklist pass like 1 2 3 4 5 like that, you can use this pre-commit thing. It is not the scanning part. So when you are after you have pushed this one here, this one will come with your CI/CD. This one will come with the CI/CD. So here it is going to deploy into the environment. Okay. So here you'll be going to use Snick. You'll be going to use Snick. So what happens from your repo while it is processing with the CI/CD and deploying here? Here is the main point that it is going to work. What it will do, it will see whatever your design plan was you given. So it is going to check as per the safety, all the security vulnerabilities and CVEs it is going to find out. And if it is finding it is a dangerous, risky, medium, low, there will be a tax. Okay. So if it is identifying it as a risky, then your pipeline automatically fails. Your pipeline automatically fails if you found this one. Where here in this process, not in this process. So this is here. So this is here. Okay. You will run this pipeline. Even you can call it as continuous scanning pipeline, also continuous testing or continuous check pipeline. Also you can call it up to here. You can only keep it as CI, just like a CI pipeline. No CD involvement, and you can run this one here. This is going to identify. When it is identified, and you will going to fix it. Why still it fail? What could be the different reasons? Yes, it is similar to Trivi. Trivi also it will do Trivi, or you are having OWSP for dependencies, and you will be having cyber flow or burp suite or Prisma, okay, or CyberArk. So these many tools are there. Actually, these many tools are. Circle CI is a CSCD, Rajkumar. Trivi is comes into the same. Okay, Trivi and Sneaker comes into the same, and these many tools are there in this platform. Okay, so this is the tool, one of the product, the integrating everything at your AML side to do all the scanning. So AI security, runtime security, KSI security, compliance support, app security, cloud security as well. So they're integrating everything. Even it's a kind of a SaaS tool. They If you are already using Prisma, let's say you're already using Snyk, let's say You're already using any Varacode kind of things, okay, for dynamic scanning and all. They integrate your tool with this to give you an inside dashboard. If you're not having them, you can configure at this platform to give. So that is something a good benefit out of this tool was I really found it is very nice at one solution for all these things at AML side. Well, that is the main difference, Raviraj. Ravi, sorry, Ravi. Okay, cool. If I come to our thing in Python, first thing is the print. We all know that uh, Python we should learn from the print only because generally what everyone will learn from the print because it's the basic understanding. You are a very fresher, then you should start from the this print only. So this is a built-in function in the Python. Why we use to display the message in the terminal. To display the message in the terminal. Example, if you are going to any of your Python compiler, go like this at Python compiler, open any one of the a Python compiler. Here you can see you have print hello world. If you say it here like this, okay, you keep comma or you keep these things. If you run, it will run this side and it is going to print. Whatever you're giving in shell, it is something like echo in your shell because it will print the content what you are given inside this message. You can give single quote also. You can give double quote also. It works same, but there is a there is no much difference, but there is something. If you are using any of this like this, it's here you're using single quote like this. Inside a message, you have one single quote. If you run like this, it will give you an error. So it's better to use double quote in this case. Basic thing. If you do practice, I already given many things like this lab executions. You can use them. So when we use double quote and single quote, so it's always good learning and good to go with the double quote always because that will take your string and comfortable with your Python programming. Okay. Any string you use double quote. Yes, you can use. When you give this quotes, Python will think it as a string. It's a text. Python will think it as a text. If you give number, you can give the number. If you give any addition, it will join them. It will just join them. Okay. So just don't be confused. Let's go with thing because many of here even don't know Python basics. So let's go with a very basic thing. By 2-3 days, we'll be able to understand what are all these things. Okay, cool. So here, how you can practice, you just create one hello.py and just give any random thing and just run it. That's it. It will. Why we need this print? If you ask me why I have to focus on this print in your AML side, you will be using to display your some of your values when you're running this training things, experiment things. This metrics will be there, right? You wanted to print inside your terminal. You need the values to be there. Okay, values to be there. I didn't write, I think. Yeah. So values to be there. Okay. So for that you need this. Every time you're going to add the print in the end of your block. In collab also we're going to see end of your block because we're not directly executing at the ML flow. We want values here itself. And once the code cell is run, I want the value here itself only. I don't want to wait until many things are run. I want immediately what results it was doing, what execution it has done. So I want that output to be seen immediately. In that case, you can use printing. So this is very basic. Okay. So now let's go to this number and variables. Okay. So this is the first thing we have to start. So I'm not going very advanced. I'll be going very scratch to understand why, what, why it is very important, because these are all the things on a regular life you will be seeing. So variable, you need to understand what is a variable. A variable is something, a variable is something, variable is something, not this one, key value. Okay. So you wanted to store the values. Why? Any of your programming or any of your site, okay, any of your solution you are running at your project or at your company, let's say I was telling that name is equal to Rajni. Okay, let my Rajni is my password. Example, Rajni is my password. So I don't want it to be hard coded, this one. Let's say you will call it as this is key, this is key, and this is value, this is value actually, this is value and this is key. So you are storing this value inside this key. You're storing this value inside this key actually. So this is variable. You go shell, you go any programming, okay? Variable is a variable only. You just ultimately you're storing a value in a key. Okay. So if once I have defined in later phases, I wanted to utilize this value. I wanted to utilize this value. So I don't need to define this. I don't need to write this again and again. So I can call this key directly. I can call this key directly. Variable. So storing the values here. So everywhere you go, you will find this. Even while you are running an experiments, when you are doing a hyperparameter tunings and all those things, what you will get it over there. So you will be defining some values sometimes. Okay, you'll be defining values. So in that cases, what do you need? Variable only. You can see, think of a variable like a labeled box, a water bottle. You have a sticker on it. Water is a value and the sticker is the key. Okay. So all these results, whatever you want, you can store it in the variable, then you can read them. You should not do hard code. Hard code in the sense you're directly seeing the sensitive information like API keys, your passwords, your DB passwords, your certificates keys. These are all the sensitive information or sensitive values. You will be not doing hard coded, so that if you do like that, it will able to print in the logs. Runtime will be going on, right? When application is running in the Kubernetes and the pod, when it is generating the logs, there it will show. If you're running the solution also in your local itself, it will show the password. So that is a very dangerous thing. Where any small loophole found by an attacker can easily steal this one. Or inside your team, people can misuse that. So that is a main thing in a security perspective. You should not do all the things hard coded in the program. So you can use this variables to call. Okay. If you're using this, it is more flexible. Easy values you can get it. Where you require in ML models, we will be using in the Pythons, pipelines, and configs. Where exactly? I don't know about this application side because I'm not teaching any application development all. So we will be using in MLOps, LLMOps, especially at the paths, especially at the hyperparameter, especially at the model names, especially at the API URLs, especially at the environment settings. Okay. So here we will be using the variables. Python basics like variable, data type, control flow, while loop. Yes, Rajkumar, these are all going to be covered as part of our fundamental. Okay. So first thing, when you're defining like just before I said, you just say it as name and whatever your name and just print it. Okay. So when you go print at your compiler, I'm gonna just go and run print. It will print it here. So you are storing this value here, and next when you're printing a name. Yeah, printing a name. This is very basic. You have to start with it. Okay. And similar like you can also uh, give any values that whatever you want. You just go with these examples. In Python, variables are plain text and will declare inside a sample code script any secure way like base64 encoding or vault in the K8s. So those are the systems. But if you're not using those systems of base64 decryption or encryption things, how do you generally soft code them? Variables. Okay. So this is a basic thing. If you even pass any number, even you pass any number, you define this, it will print. So this is a numbers in data structures. In data structure, we have string, we have numbers, we have float. Okay. So when you see this 9.25, we call them as floats. Okay. We call them as So we call them as plots. Okay, whenever you see the dots in the values, you can call them as plots in the Python. And there is the Boolean true and false. Whenever you're writing any variable, there are some rules actually. There are some rules. Your variable has to start with underscore. Your variable has to start with some underscore that can be valid. If you say it like this, number something and you run the code, it will give the error. Or it has to start with any alphabet name or underscore. Then only it will run. If you run directly with any number, your variable will throw you an error, syntax issue in the Python. Okay, syntax issue in the Python. It's a simple. So these are some rules actually. So I've already given here. I think I've given rules also. Yeah, here I given. You must start with the letter or underscore. Even you cannot write like this, Model hyphen name. Model hyphen name. You cannot even write like this. It will also throw in error. Invalid syntax, it will say. And you cannot write like this also. You are defining the value in the plane and you are giving double quotation to your key will be an invalid thing. If you give double quotation here, it will treat like a plain text only. It doesn't know it is an integer number. It will treat like the text only because it will assume that it is a string. Python will assume like it is a string. Okay, so this is the correct thing. So if you ask like agent is equal to 25, it will give you. So I also added some mini tasks to you. You can just please just don't do any copy paste. Just type, go to this Python interpreter. It will be very nice interpreter. Or you can also create your GitHub repository and open this VS Code online or code space. If you go to GitHub, what you use, click on this and click on code spaces here. Okay, create code space on main. You have here your Python. Okay, here it will open a terminal to you. Install the Python extension. It given bash also here. So if you're really worried about your system, you can do practice here as well, and also give you Copilot here at free. You can do practice by right side asking if you have any doubts or you're not able to. Here also in the terminal, it will give you the suggestions when you are running. Okay. So you just file in the terminal. So it ran. You can use them here in the code space. You can practice all the files. Let's say you're practicing for variable. Okay. So create a new file. Uh, just click here, new file, and say it as variables.py. Okay, practice variable here. So what you do, just say course is equal to MLOps. Okay, like this. You just and then use print course. Use like this and then use them to run in the Python terminal. So for your practicing for variables, then use comments here. Okay, yeah. If you use this, when you say it as ash, when you say ash, it is not executable. It is not executable. It is not executable. Put it like this. Each section, task one, let's say task one, write like this, and task two, ash. So, and create here and run them. Okay. So it will be in your GitHub repository only. Anytime you can go and you can see them. It will be handy for you and it will be at your GitHub only. Wherever you are, you can easily able to access at your mobile also. You wanted to see quickly anything. So in coming future, whatever the important notes we be going to see, I'll be giving the Notion as well, and I'll be going to give you in the this GitHub repository also. Okay. So like this, you can do a practice. Why the importance of this one? So variables are storing your values and why just yeah, storing the values. It is important. And coming to the numbers in the Python numbers. So we have three things. Okay. When you call Python in number at AIOps side, mainly we're going to use for these things in a observability. I'm not telling the Python in this way uh, that everybody will do you on a basic side. Where we exactly in the company said we're going to use exactly this value. So here we're going to use at model accuracy, loss values, CPU memory usages count, request latency count, threshold and limits count at your SLO, SLI things, okay, with the percentages and all. There you're gonna apply these things. Where your numbers are needed, there you're gonna write a block, Python script. That is going to execute over there to pull these values. Okay. So here we have integer where there are no decimals. You can call this as completely a number. If you give in the double quotation again, log abbreviation and monitoring the system, yes. Again, it is going to be treat like a text. It will never understand that it is when you try to print as a type, it will treat like a text if you give in the double quote. Okay. So integer where you give a full number, okay, then it will be going to run it as the integer, the number. It is a number. When you give it like this, then I said right, float. So this is a float. And there are complex numbers like when you say 2 plus 3j or I. So when you say like this is going to print whatever here 2 plus j. It's going to be joined. This is a complex thing. And we were never not going to use this kind of complex code logics at your these things. These are mainly at your automation side or mainly at your Python application development side, but not at the LLMOps this side. You'll be not using this kind of complex blocks. At very rare cases you'll be going to use them actually. Okay. So there are very basic mathematical operations, means arithmetic operations. If you say a is equal to 10, if I say like this, what would be happens? Anyone answer? Will it going to give error? It treat like double quotation, it is going to treat like a string. Yes. Then you have the value directly with the number and you're joining them. What it will do? It will do a join or error. When you say this, it try to join. What happens? Where is our code interpreter? Error. Okay. So when you say this, it's going to do 15. It will do addition. Will do addition. When you say in the double quotation and the double quotation and you say it like this, what it will do now? What it will do now? It's error or it's going to join? It's going to join. And when you say like this, what it will do? Now I'm giving real string and now I'm giving a number here. It will do join. So if I really do like this, single quotation, what it will do again? I'm giving double quotation here. Join, because there is no difference in single and this one. Whenever you use the single, inside the single, if you say it's my term or tone like this, When you say run code, it will throw you an error because in a single, when you have the single things, it will throw you an error. Okay. When you run like this, it's going to like this. So basic things. If you keep keeping these values and running, would be very easy. Very easy. Okay. So this is at the numbers and these things. And what happens now if I do like this? 92.5 and I'm going to give what happens now? It will join. So if you see like this and then you say it will do addition. If you say this one, it will go into do subtraction. If you do say explorations, it will go into power. It will do that. If you say uh, what this one is going to run in your reminders. These are basic arithmetic things. We know already multiplication, all this whatever the value that you're going to keep. So it is going to. If you give it as here a number like this, Rajni, and what it will be going to do? It will throw you an error. Okay. So like this. So I already given all the standard things like here. You can just use them. Just don't look at this. You see the notes one time and then do a practice. Okay. Then do a practice. So storing calculation results like we will going to use like this at the log passing side and all. Okay. And one more thing I forgot to say, this type also. So let's say I have defined something a string. I have defined something like this. When you ask this one, it is going to print actually. Means if you are really confused about what it is, it will tell you that this is an integer and this is a float. Okay. So if you say, so z is equal to Rajni and you just copy this, just I'm saying this, z and run this. It's just saying it as a string. You can find out this type, what it is in the Python numbers. Okay. So basic, a very basic. And if I cover you in the data structures also, this is most of it. So there is one more thing, list, tuples and dictionaries. A long conversation you can say. Okay. So what happens every time you're running a program that will never enough with the single values that you're going to satisfy. Okay. So example, let me open the Python interpreter. If I'm going to run print, okay. If I'm going to run the print. Now I wanted to print multiple lines. So you need to give three double quotation. Say, I am learning Python plus also MLOps down, also AIOps down, also LLMOps. Okay. Now if you're gonna print, you can print them like this, multi-line things. So like this only, my requirement is like I don't want to be end up with the one single values only. I wanted to pass like multiple values. I wanted to pass like multiple values in a program. Let's say apple there, ball there. Like I wanted to pass all these values. So when you have number of servers, when you have number of servers, let's say you have three servers like this, okay, and you wanted to do a programming for these three servers with three different names and you wanted to pass only one single code line. So you wanted to pass this value. This is server 1 and this is server 2 and this is server 3. We know in shell scripting also we do the same thing actually, right? You may keep it in an inventory, you may keep it in a one list of files, okay, list of things, and then you can pass a code. So I would like to pass all this. So in the terms, I need this tuples list, all this thing actually. There is a concept called mutable and unmutable. Mutable means when I call technical terms, mutable means if I define this server 1 means I cannot change it once I defined. Immutable immutable means I cannot change. Mutable means I can change it. Means I can edit it. Edit, not able to edit. So these terminologies we call them as mutable and immutable in the programming side. So this is some whenever you are talking at your stand up or whenever you are with your seniors, they use these terminologies, so you don't get surprise at time. Okay. So here we have list. How does list will be look like at our ML scripts? Let's say I would like to pass models as XGBoost. Double quotation means string and random forest and logistic regression. So I'm passing in 3. And when I would like to print models, I'm defined here, right? Like a variable. It's a key. These are all the values. In list, whenever you see this bracket, whenever you see this bracket, you just think like this is a list. Whenever you see this bracket, think like it's a list. You're passing here multiple values. This is an actual a block from our ML pipeline. So we use it like this list, not like Raju, Ravi, Soma, like this, no names. We will use exactly as like this in MLOps pipeline with a Python list. Okay. And when you wanted to print them, so this is one more thing. Here what happens? Index it will start. It will start index. So here when you say index in the sense you are going this way. You're going in this way. This way. Indexing we call. Now this is a value is 0, this is a 1, this is a 2, and any append that you are going to do that is 3, any append that you are going to do that is 4, any remove that is going to do it's a cancel, any append again you are doing it is 4, 5, like this you are going to add on. Adding we call them as append, appending, plus. If you're doing any plus to this list, you call it as append. Okay. So I wanted to print this one only. I wanted to print this one only. You just go to Python interpreter. I wanted to print this one only. List. Inside the list, first value. Inside the list, first value. 0. Second value. Third. Third value. Sorry. 2. 2 only. It's not there. Error. Third value. When you wanted to print, you has to represent with this braces, okay, brackets, square brackets we call. Simple. List is done. Whenever you're able to see any value like this, okay, this is list. I'm able to pass many things. If in while you're doing you wanted to pass any appending things, then you can use append like this, models dot append and a neural network. Then it is going to add into it. Then it is going to add into it. Example, not this one. Uh, so in the list, it is already end. In this list, it's already up to here. It is end. I'm doing append. I'm doing append. It is added. If you give remove, if you give remove, uh, models dot remove, list remove X is not in the list. Remove. Okay, I have not added first of all. That's a problem. Comma, keep it, do it now. Now run it. It got removed, you can see. So without adding you want to try, then it throw me an error that up to you have two only, but there is no third thing, man. So I am able to throw you an error. So it is thrown me an error. I was not added this. Append was done when you're doing append and you immediately printing it. Then it is in the print it is added, not in the original value. Not in the original value. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This list index 1, 2, 3, 4 using append method. Yes, you can able to append in the last. It is going to do plus at your end of your list. So that is append. Okay. And you wanted to see the length of these models. You can see. And where we going to use in the MLOps like this. So we're gonna calculate average. Let's say I have this sum of the metrics. I wanted to see this sum and length, and then I would like to do an average of them. When you are visualizing in your ML flow, there's multiple things will come, and you're connecting to your local, and you wanted to run this kind of things, averaging and summing and doing checking those things. I will be going to use this list only. I will be using this list only. At what? Again, you're running this divided average you wanted to see. In your in our arithmetic, we already seen this one, right? And now coming to the tuple. What does this tuple? Tuple is an ordered way and it is also followed in index based but immutable. You cannot modify it like what we have done just before. You cannot be modified. Immutable collections. Here I have also immutable collections. So how we gonna use whenever you find this braces, this braces tell you that it's a tuple. This braces will tell you that it is a tuple. Okay. So if you pass again like this, it's a plot and you can give a string. Again, if you give this double quotation, it will treat like a string and it will throw an error. Okay. So this is going to your whenever you see this one and you cannot able to do such kind of things like remove and all those things, it will give you an error, which is called immutable. Immutable. While you're defining only, here only you have to define. Other extra command that I wanted to pass and add any appending things, no. Okay, so this is tuple, similar like your list only, but the only problem is that one. And now it's come to the dict. Dict is mostly we're going to use. Dict, we're going to use mostly. We are again storing the same thing. Okay. In our most of our code blocks of our LLM, while you're doing, we will be going to do this hyperparameter fine tunings, these parameter tunings, passing the values. Mostly you're gonna do through your dicts only. Whenever you see this braces, this is dict, dictionary. In your interview, they might be going to ask you also just load some file or CSV thing, and if I give you a dict like this, and how do you going to read those things in interview? It's very basic. These questions only they are going to ask. If you practice this first, this 4 or 5 pages, mostly at your AL ML ops thing, the first 2 questions or 3 questions in a Python, they're going to ask these things only. Otherwise, if you're showing more experience, then they're going to ask you at the AML side. They never concentrate on the Python. Few people will be there because they don't know much things at other side. They only know something at Python side. They only stick to the Python. They will decide your interview. I'm very sorry for them, but Python is the only not the one skill that it's going to judge you on the AML knowledge or your capacity on this development and designing AML. It's a part of it. It's just a medium. Okay. So this is a dict. What we will be doing again, you're just defining like a variable model underscore config. If you say it here hyphen, what happens? What happens? Can someone tell me please? I given like this. It will error. Why? Why? Because we learned already variable rules, right? Variable rule. Rule number one. It has to start from underscore or it has to start from any name. If it is quite opposite to that, if it is starting with any number like this, it is invalid. Okay, if it is if it is like this, it is invalid. Either you should keep like this or keep it like this, because we're going to create packages like this also. Okay, like this in our Python. Why we going to use? Because underscores, like you should remember these things. Okay, we will come to that point later. So when you say like this, it is going to, what we are doing, you're defining this key and you're opening curly braces and you're defining multiple values. Inside that, you're using double quotation with colon and passing the values. So this is possible with the dict only. Simple. Just don't get confused and just see these things. It's going to be done with the dict only. And same, you can print. But here, do you want to follow indexing? Will the indexing will work? No. The indexing will be not working. If I say this thing and if I say print 0 run code, it will throw you an error underscore. Okay. So how you are passing in the list? Unordered. Yes, it is unordered. It does not follow the same kind of order what the list or your tuple is followed. So that is the main drawback of your dict. Simple. So these are all the some very, 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 very basic things. Uh, you just go. Here is also the, the comparison I have given, and I have given this small task you to practice, and how you can integrate in your VS Code also I have given. Okay, just please execute this task. It will be very hands-on for you, and you never means you'll be feel friendly while we going to design a pipeline, because we are going to write each cell manually. So it will be very easy to you to understand why you're defining this, why you were defining, because we also need to learn some other things as well. It's not only these things, some important things are there, the loops and flow control and if else functions, uh, many things are there. Any questions, doubts, concerns, or you bombarded with lot of points today? I understand, but if you read this document one or two times, you'll be now never finding this easy, uh, focused, concised information anywhere. So please read this document twice or thrice. No questions? I'll be going to share it tonight actually. And one more thing, one important thing I would like to announce, and so since most of the students are going and ask us also, and I'll be also traveling because of this Pongal festival. Uh, our next class would be on next Monday. So this is the long gap we are getting next Monday. So since I'm also traveling to the hometown, and few also requested me that they'll be not able to attend. This Python is our most important thing, and if you're going to cut, and it would be not a good focus. Next class again next week Monday, and in between I will pass some assignments in the Google Classroom with the same Notion templates. Please try to look at them. If you have any doubts, directly call me on my WhatsApp. Anything, any doubt, any issue, any help you need, just call me on my WhatsApp directly. Yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down. For bash scripting, okay, I'll do that. Yes, sure. But for bash scripting, I'll give the Notion templates. Please practice. Any questions, doubts? Cool, no questions. We already reached the time, and thank you very much, guys. Please, and again, I'm telling any issues, just please ping me. I'll be always available. I'll pick your call and let me know what you need. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys.